bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network.
All right. Well. Fade to Black. Today is Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. Finally, we get to do an AMA. Traditionally, ask me anything. It should be AJA. Ask Jimmy anything. Traditionally, we would do this once a month, and always fun to do. We've just had really amazing guests lately, and nearly back to back first-time guests, which after almost 2,000 shows and 10 years of doing Fade to Black, very tough thing to do. I do want to reach out and thank, of course, Michelle Freed, who has been producing for us now for a few months. I've never really made a formal introduction or anything for Michelle on the show. I've known Michelle for many, many years, and she's great. And first time guest, just back to back, and really, really great stuff. And because of that, just the AMAs, and I've squeezed in an AMA when we had technical issues, or a guest had a family, or an emergency or something like that. But so scheduling these once a month has been getting pretty tough, and so I told Michelle last week. I said, hey, we're doing an AMA next week, and then she had a guest book for tonight. I said, wow, let's bring on the guest for 30 minutes. And then we will do that. And then that particular guest, there was an issue with tonight. But I like the idea of this guest coming on and then following that with an AMA. And there's a reason for that. And I kind of mentioned it last week. So I'm not going to say who the guest is, but when we do it, you'll fully understand. All right. Now, and I will say this, Michelle has got some really, really, really big things happening very soon with Fade to Black and some guests that I'm just totally excited about. So anyway, welcome aboard, Michelle. Got that out of the way. Let's do this, man. Let's do an AMA tonight. Help support the show. Help support all the hard work and the team that we have established here. Every night after the show, I'm thanking and mentioning who is producing, who is doing this, that for the show. We have a big team that works here, and I pay people. So help support everything that we do. I would like to, by getting a T-shirt. All right, just get a T-shirt. You can get a T-shirt one of two ways. Order one, or get a Game Changer membership. I'm out of Fade to Black hats. I had a few left, and that I found, by the way. So I gifted those away to the Game Changers. Those are now gone. But thank you for getting the Game Changers. But you can get a T-shirt with the Game Changer membership. Now, the links for everything are below. And before we get to the questions, and they're already rolling in tonight, I wanted to say this. I mentioned this last night on the show, and this is something I'm very excited about. Michael Oeming and Taki Soma, two of the greatest, most amazing and talented comic artists in the world, are designing a new Fade to Black official Fade or Not T-shirt. And the classic Fade to Black T-shirt's not going away. It's just part of this show. So it's always going to be there. But that is getting ready to get released too as well. And you'll be able to make a choice when you get your Game Changer membership, which T-shirt you want. Everything ships for free. Everything ships the next day. All right. And it's just, I'm going to tell, we're doing an AMA tonight. Let me tell you something. I'm going to share a couple of things. One of my favorite things to do, and it's so serious, is getting up in the morning, pouring my coffee, and looking at the orders that have come in for the T-shirts, because I get to sign each one. I personally, I do this myself. I print the labels, I package them, I set them aside, boom, and it's one of the, I don't ever want that feeling to go away. I don't. It is so amazing. I am just blessed. All right. So 2 ways to get your T-shirts. And now, second thing, tonight in the AMA, you can post your questions in the YouTube chat, which is here. You can post them over on TweetDeck, and which is hashtag F2B. And if you could over there as well, is if you do it in Twitter, same rules. Put it in all caps so I can see it. That's all. That stuff gets really, really busy. And that's that. Okay. So those are the rules. Ask me anything. Doesn't matter. Everything's on the table. This is one of my favorite nights on the show. All of the nights on the show are my favorite, by the way, but hanging out with the Fadernauts and doing an AMA, I am good to go. All right. Now let me hit this River Moon coffee. All right. Now, I wanted to mention, and I didn't. So I wanted to mention there are 2 movies that I was really looking forward to that both turned out to be amazing, by the way. And but they finally got released, and I watched them. And the first one I want to mention is Asteroid City by Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson, Rushmore, Royal Tenenbaums, The Life Aquatic, Bottle Rocket, what is it? The Fantastic Mr. Fox. I can go on and on. He is just one of the best directors in the world. He's great. He's fantastic. He's amazing. And I was really looking forward to Asteroid City because it is, of all things for Wes Anderson to do, he's so clever. It's an alien invasion movie. That's right. That is in the trailers. I'm not giving anything away. But the movie, oh my God, it's amazing. And it's out. So go and check out Asteroid City. It's right there, Amazon Prime. One of the things that I do is when these blockbusters come out, your day one, you can rent it. It's usually $20, right? Sometimes 25, whatever, $24.99, $19.99. You can rent it or buy it. Or if you hang out for about a month, it's going to show up on HBO Max, or it's going to be somewhere for free. Disney, all the Marvel stuff does the same thing. And the new Marvel movie that just came out. Anyway, that's Guardians. But I didn't do that with these 2. So Asteroid City, no, first day of release, couldn't believe it. Paid that $20, worth every penny. Absolutely amazing. And the other one was Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now, I loved 1 and 2. 1 is tough to top, but and there were some criticism. I didn't have criticisms for Guardians 2. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was amazing. Guardians 3, wow. I mean, just wow. So you've got to check it out. So I went, and as we set this up tonight, I went over to Amazon Prime, and I have it here. And I was looking at my movie purchases. what do I purchase? What do I rent? What do I purchase? And it's pretty interesting. And they had a sale recently, and I went and stacked up on stuff. And I don't have DirecTV anymore. I used to have DirecTV and Amazon, and I had DirecTV for so many years. I mean, going back to 95 or something. So I had a movie collection that I had purchased on DirecTV on that hard drive. Oh man. And they're forever gone. And there must have been 100 or 200 movies there. But anyway, so some things I've gone back and repurchased. So I went and I looked at my list. This is in the head of Jimmy Church. These are some purchases that I have in Amazon Prime. 2010. The year we made contact. I have owned this movie in every form over the years. Videotape, DVD, stream, what have you. But it's really good. Is it as good as 2001? Of course it isn't. But it's an amazingly great movie. 2010. Arrival. Of course I've got that. This is Spinal Tap. Right. It's right there in my purchases. The Life Aquatic, another Wes Anderson film. The Royal Tenenbaums, another Wes Anderson film. Operation Fortune. I think that's a Guy Ritchie movie that actually was pretty good. So Operation Fortune, Tropic Thunder. Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Love the Bomb, Mars Attacks, They Live, Man. Whoo! If you haven't, just check it out. The last 10 minutes of that movie, Valerian, and the City of a Thousand Planets, right there. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Amsterdam. I really liked Amsterdam, by the way. It's a pretty clever movie. Is that Guy Ritchie too? Bullet Train. Yeah, I paid for that. It was okay. Brad Pitt. Top Gun Maverick. Elvis. Contact. This really good Shakespeare documentary. Shakespeare, The Truth Behind the Name. It's a really good documentary. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. A really good, great movie. A really good documentary about Fender and Gibson guitars called Solid Bodies. Moonfall. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The Observers. That's right. I bought my own movie. Yeah, it's a pretty cool feeling. Breach. Yeah, I did. Tenet I've watched a few times and it's pretty good. And it got panned. I really liked it. Bill and Ted Face the Music. Love and Monsters. That's right. That's in here. Bloodshot. I don't know what that movie is. The Gentleman, another Guy Ritchie film. 1917. It was a great film. Knives Out, the first one, which was pretty good. Knives Out 2 kind of sucked. Parasite, remember that? The Korean movie? I think it won an Academy Award. Galaxy Quest, My Blue Heaven, Angel Has Fallen, Cosmos, not the TV series, the movie. I bought Stuber. Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah, sue me. Space Battleship Yamato. Man, I love that movie. Silent Running. Whew, Bruce Dern. Like 1970, that movie came out. 72. John Wick 3. I just watched John Wick 4, by the way. Yeah, it's really good. Alita. Hellboy. These are, I could go on and on and on and on. Chariots of the Gods. Captain Marvel. Black Hole Hunters. I talked about that documentary before. Primer might be the best time travel movie ever made. They made it for $7,000. Glass, Overlord, The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot, Venom, Predator, the first one, Mission Impossible Fallout, Sicario, Deadpool 2, Avengers, Infinity War, Resolution, Serenity, Ready Player One, Pacific Rim, Annihilation. I love that movie. It's a great movie. Black Panther, Shape of Water, Thor Ragnarok, Ghost in a Shell, Blade Runner 2049, Kingsman, The Golden Circle. I can go on and on, but it was just, it's weird for me to go and just see my taste in movies. Yeah, no movies about dogs, no love stories, no horror films. Not really into that. Not into that. So anyway, and all of that happened because of Asteroid City and Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So I would highly recommend that you watch both of those movies. Asteroid City is perfect. Wait till you see the alien. Oh, and spoiler alert. I think I just messed stuff up. All right, that's where I'm at. Let's get to it. Tonight's an AMA. And look at all these comments. Oh, man. Okay. I have no idea. We have got, yeah. Okay. I get it, everybody. It's going to take me forever just to get to the beginning. Post your questions in all caps. You can do it in our YouTube chat. You can also do it over on Twitter in hashtag F2B. To Sarah Ann hanging out. Okay, all right. Hashtag F2B. You can post there if you can. Do it in all caps. All right. Let's see. Renee Newman's up first. What, Renee? She's at the top. Renee got in here early tonight. Jimmy. Okay, here. I can actually do this. So I'll do it this way. Jimmy, will we learn anything new on July 26th? I'm going to tell you right now, yes. All right. Now, Renee is referring to the UFO hearing that is going down at the House Wednesday, July 26th. I have heard, I've gotten a couple of emails, so I can't confirm. And not until I hear something official. There was supposed to be a press conference today about this. I didn't hear anything about that. Maybe it happened. And they were going to announce some of the witnesses that were going to come forward. But Renee says, depending on whether the hearing is closed or viewable, yeah, whether it's open or closed, this has to be the way that Tim Burchett is, and he's running this thing. He is all about openness and this being for the public. I can't see this being closed. That's not what he wants here. And the same thing with the Senate. I anticipate something going on there too as well with the Senate Intelligence Committee and Marco Rubio. Right now, we know we have the House up first. This is a really big deal. Now, the last two hearings, the first one with Bray and Meltry, which not to, I thought it was pretty good. Andre Carson, the representative out of Indiana, who chaired that particular hearing, said it was a UFO hearing and that they hadn't done anything like this in decades. And he set the tone for it early. Bray and Meltry tried to steer it away. I did like the way the committee, Gallagher and others, kept bringing this back to ET and flying saucers. What is really going on? Bray and Moultrie, I don't think were ready for that. They weren't prepared. They thought it was just going to be some boilerplate thing. They were going to ask some answer some very simple questions and move on. That's not what happened. That was pretty good. The second hearing, that was about Arrow and the funding of Arrow with Senator Gillibrand. And that empty, right? There was a couple of senators there, a couple of assistants. The room was basically empty. And you had Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, sitting there and talking about budget stuff and things. And he came out very early, swinging, saying he has had nothing that would point to anything ET or off planet. Of course, there's, just the fact that he said it, you knew that he wasn't telling the truth. He should have just not said anything at all and just stay on it. But there you go. So, Renee, I think this is going to be the first one like this and a step in that direction. We are talking about UFOs, talking about flying saucers, crash retrievals, alien bodies and pilots, the evidence of that, and hopefully David Grush himself will be there. All right. So yeah, this is I anticipate this as being huge. Let's see. All right, Dorothy Gale, Jimmy. All right, let me see here. Did the ruby slipper symbolize time travel, portals, or other dimensions? Pick only one. Dorothy Gale. Most people don't know that Gale is Dorothy's last name in The Wizard of Oz. All right, so somebody is, playing the pun here with ruby slippers, but I don't know. I never really looked at it that way. I was too young. When it came to The Wizard of Oz, I was so into the Bad Witch, the flying monkeys, and when it went from black and white to color, and that jump, that was just, man, still a great movie. Okay, The Debrief. Jimmy, you have 10 minutes to depose an alien of any information. What is your line of questioning? I have 10 minutes. What is my line of questioning? I think I have to where are you from? How far did you travel? And how long did it take you to get from there to here? And from those answers, we can do some. We could just go to town. Oh, it took us a couple of minutes. Oh, okay. So it's 10 million light years, right? It's 10 million. It's 30 million light years, and it took you a couple of minutes. Okay, so how? But we won't understand the how. But you're going to have to go there. But where did you come from? How long did it take you to get here? And I'd work on that for 10 minutes. Yeah. I mean, in 10 minutes, can somebody explain to me, traversing the universe? Probably not going to happen. So, but that's what I would want to know. Where'd you come from and how long? Great question, though. Man, I love AMAs. All right, next up, Dickie Berg. My question is, you must be abducted, but you get to choose which race of aliens takes you. Which one and why them? Well, I'd want to go with, you got to go with the nice ones. And the second thing is, you've got to go with the ones that can appear to not look scary. Now, they don't have to naturally not look scary, but maybe the ability to change. I mean, do you want to hang out? Do you want to be abducted by a green, 3-headed, 12-eyed, 6-tentacled, right, alien that is 30 feet tall that sweats purple sweat on a green body? Do you want to hang out with that? Yellow teeth. No. Now, if that same alien could change, whoop, right, and just be something pleasant to look at, and I'm not talking, female or anything, but just something easy on the eyes that you're not totally freaked out. I would go with that race. That's what I would go with. Anybody. Now let's get to the why part. Because any race that would abduct me or somebody from this planet that would come here and abduct is advanced. So that's really not, I just want to make sure that they're at least not going to cause me pain, right? You don't want pain in the equation, all right? You don't want that. Now, would it be scary? Sure. But you would just want a race that is not there to freak you out. You're going to be freaked out, but you don't want to be scared and you don't want pain. Now, you're not going to find out until after the abduction, I suppose. But if I had a choice, right, I would go there. I would go there. And I think I'd want to take a sack lunch, right? How long am I going to be gone? Is it going to be a couple hours? Okay. All right. Is it going to be a couple of days? I got to pack a lunch. Am I going to be gone for a couple of years? Now we've got an issue there. Food. Oh, we can make whatever you want. All right. Okay. All right. It's going to taste good. You're not going to know. All right. So, yeah, it would just have to be something that wouldn't freak out my eyeballs. No. Do you remember, what's the movie? I just mentioned it, Galaxy Quest. And you remember the one, I can't remember her name, and she can't control her disguise. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You don't want to, no, you don't want to, no. Great question, though, Dickie Berg. Dickie Berg, is that a real name? All right, let's see, who's up next? My question is, this is Moon at Noon. My question is, this isn't in all caps, but I marked it. This must have been before the show. Yeah, it was at 6:27 p.m. Okay, look at that. My question is, why does YouTube want me to use British spelling in this chat? It's color, not color. That's funny. Oh, that is funny. Okay. All right. Shenanigans. Jimmy. Okay, hold on. Jimmy, for $1 million, would you go on a date with Caitlyn Jenner where the paparazzi would photograph you? Yeah, I would. Bruce Jenner? Go on a date? Yeah. We're just talking about dinner, right? Hey, I'd get, yeah, I do that. I do it for a lot less than $1 million. I'll tell you that right now. But I do for $1 million. Yeah, Bruce is cool. Caitlyn's cool. I got no issues with that. All right, that's a good question. Why would I have issues with that? I'd do that for free. That'd be cool, man. I would hang. Look. This is the trippy thing about Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, right? That's who we're talking about here. Is to think about the decathlon, the gold medals, the Wheaties boxes, the fame that Bruce Jenner had at that time. now Caitlin. But and was this always there? I would want to know that question. I would sit. I don't know if Caitlin's been asked that. I've been following, but if I'm out on a date with Caitlin, I would go, Caitlin, so check this out, man. Pole vault, right? You're doing the long jump. Were you back then, were you thinking about this? Was this just, and I'm sure the answer, I'm assuming, would be yes. I don't know, but I'd want to know. Yeah. All right. Let's see who's up next. That's a great question right there. $1 million. I do that for free. I do that for free in a second. All right. What's up next? God, there's a lot of comments here. Okay. There's a lot of comments. You guys are having fun tonight. All right. Oh, Lori Bell. Lori Bell says, okay, Jimmy, she says, Jimmy, if I buy a faded black T-shirt, will you let me submit a tastefully done wet T-shirt pic for the gallery? Absolutely. What's wrong with that? It's tasteful. It's your choice. I think the Fadernauts would care. No. That's so yeah. Other males in the chat, feel free to vote on this. Oh, that is funny. Oh, I think I posted a comment. Question of the year. I answer everything. I've had a lot of questions. I've done a lot of shows. I've never had that. Oh, that is fantastic. Sure. Yeah, we'll post it. Absolutely. All right. I wonder if I have. I'd have to look. I may have some tank tops, or one left, or two. I'd have to look. But so I'll send you that too, Lori Bell. You'll get the T-shirt and get the tank top. And then there you go. All right, let's see. Lori Bell, question of the year. So Lori Bell says Jimmy just wants to sell a T-shirt. All right, let's see. Simon the Likeable One, the real SM. No specific question comes to mind, strangely, for me now. Just interested in any personal stories that got you into this UFO business. What do you mean? That's a great question. And specifically, I always put it on my mom and Eric Von Daniken, and there is that things happened at the exact same time. But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna tell this story. After my parents divorced, I was young. I was like 7 years old. We were poor, and my mom was raising at the time Carol, me. I'm going in order in age. Carol, me, Mike, Heather, Danny. So 5 kids, soon to be 6, because Greg was my youngest brother was born a little bit later. But anyway, my mom, single mom. 1972, raising 5 kids, and she's at the age of she's in her mid to late 20s or something. And wow, how do you pull that? We were poor. We went from living, pretty good life on an army base to being poor. And we bounced around from house to house. And still looking back, I don't know how my mom pull that off, but she did. And we move into this apartment in Waukegan. It was bad. Though my mom, bless her heart, though, right, doing everything that she could. So my first day in class is fourth grade, and so I guess I'm 8 years old, 8 or 9 now. It's been a couple of years since the divorce. And Mrs. Lafferty, that was my fourth grade teacher. So I come in, I'm the new kid. And she says, that's your desk. And there's an empty desk. And I go over and I sit, and next to me is this kid named John. I don't want to say his last name. He's still around. And I'm sort of, anyway, I'm not going to say his last name. And my soon-to-be best friend, I don't know this yet, but I looked down and he was drawing pictures of space astronauts, the moon or something. And later on that day, he introduces me. We go out for recess after lunch, and he introduces me to this other kid, Steve, his friend. And we went up to the baseball diamond there at Clearview Elementary in Waukegan. And he said, we're going to play UFO. I'm like, what's that? It's a TV show, UFO. You're the UFO. I'm an interceptor. And I'm watching these two, and somebody's got to run. And these two guys are interceptors, and we're shooting at each other, aliens. We're just running around the baseball field. That night, that week, whatever, I watched the TV show, UFO. And now I understood the game. But that, if I am going to say, if there was one single moment in my life that, because it was UFO and going to the library and John and Steve and this thing that was happening, and at that time it was Chariots of the Gods had just come out in the book and stuff. It was meeting John in fourth grade, walking in and sitting down at an empty desk. And here I am today. I woke up this morning, you just never know, right? We're talking about fourth grade, and this kid, John, had no idea how he would change the trajectory of my entire life. And so if that moment hadn't happened, I'm not reading this question right here, Simon. Yeah. It's just crazy. But if I'm going to nail it down to a single moment, I could put stuff on my mom and things and my family and stuff. But no, it was John. There you go. All right. Let's see who is up next. Okay, let's see here. Going in order. Area 51. How you doing, Juan? Was Jimmy Church on Paranormal caught on tape? I was like 10 years old when that came out. Paranormal. Was Paranormal caught on tape? Was that the one with Jonathan Frakes from Star Trek? Was that Paranormal caught on tape? I used to love that show. If we're talking about the same show. Yeah, caught on tape. So that means it was before digital anything. Yeah, that's that Jonathan Frakes show. Man, I would have been 25 years old or something like that. So there you go. Jimmy just wants to sell a T-shirt. Yep. Well, hey, it's up to you, Lori Bell. It's up to you. You might get a tank top out of it too as well. Okay. Let's see. Remember, everybody, all caps. And I see that we're up to 1,000 comments. All right, let's blast through this. This is from Ange. Ange, how you doing, Ange? Jimmy Church, if you had to choose one experience or case as the best proof, what would it be, and can you elaborate? Ange, that's a great question. I mean, this is a question that I ask people all the time. I've asked Stan Friedman this. I've asked Dolan this. I've asked Linda this. I've Jim Mars. I've asked everybody this very same question because I'm very interested in this and the answers, because you can get the answer, but then you've got to get to the why, right? Why? All right. So experience or case is the best proof. It's so tough. It's so tough. If we go with a modern, well, kind of modern, but Rendlesham still rates up there. All of the witnesses are with us. And so as far as a contact experience and what everybody went through, and it's military, but that Rendlesham has to be at the tippity top of that. Now, going back off of that, though, I've Travis Walton. Yeah, Travis Walton. Too many witnesses to ignore. Very tough case to ignore. A case that was, so many Philip Glass and the things that, just tried to crack the egg on this and crack the case, and it was never done. Travis Walton, Betty and Barney Hill, too, as well, for the same reasons. Let's see here. I've got a question. I just got distracted with an email question. Okay, so let me pull up my email. All right, this is from Justin in Florida. My first question: if you could ask the universe anything and tell you 100% truth, what would it be? Life after death. Yeah. Life after death. I would go there. Second question: Chinese food, Italian food, barbecue, Jamaican food, Mexican food. One must go good. Which one do you choose? Italian. That's it. I'm not. There's too many choice. Barbecue can never go wrong. Chinese food can't go wrong. Jamaican, man, you can't go wrong with Jamaican food. You can't. But if they're Mexican food, oh man, that's tough. Italian. If I'm gonna get stuck with answering that, I'm gonna go Italian. You left, well, barbecue's there. I mean, what about fried chicken? All right. What about steak and potatoes? What about Thanksgiving dinner? If Thanksgiving dinner was on here, right? Chinese food, Italian food, barbecue, Mexican, right? You notice he didn't have Indian food on there, right? I see that. You don't have Indian food or French. He didn't mention French. But if you had Thanksgiving on here, that would be the winner. That would be the winner. All right, let's keep going. This is great. Let me see here. Were you 100% Jimmy? Were you on Paranormal Caught on Tape? No. What are we talking about? Are we talking about the show with Jonathan Frank? Who was, man? Okay, let's answer this right now. Paranormal Caught on Tape TV show, right? Right? What it was called. Okay, episode guide. 6 seasons. No, that's paranormal. Okay, Caught on Tape. Paranormal Caught on Camera. Oh, Susan Slaughter. Okay, that's Brian Cotton. No, I was never on that show. You're talking about Paranormal Caught on Tape. I thought that there was another one called Paranormal Caught on Tape TV show with Jonathan Frakes. Right here, Paranormal Caught on Camera. Yeah, there was no TV show caught on tape. Really? Only caught on camera. All right. Okay. We're both wrong. So there you go. All right. Tonight's our AMA. You can post your questions in our YouTube chat using all caps, or head over to Twitter, hashtag F2B, and where Sarah Ann, let's see. This is from Twitter, do you ever prepare your coffee the same way or change it up? Do you drink iced coffee? Yes, I do. I drank iced coffee today. It's hot. Do I prepare it the same way every single time? No, I do not. Sometimes I just have it black, straight up. Sometimes I'll just have espresso. Sometimes I will have a pour over. Sometimes I French press. I have a brewer. Sometimes I just electric brew it. I have always on my counter 3 different kinds of coffee. I have mine, fade to black blend. I'll have a medium roast, and then I'll have a lighter roast. So it goes dark, medium, light, and about once a week. Normally, every day I drink fade to black blend. That's what I'm drinking here. But once a week, I'll pick a day. I'm like, switching it up, and I'll go to medium or light roast. Also, I use Italian sweet cream. I like that. There's a few different companies that make it, but it's got to be real cream, real sugar. I get different brands of that. But I also like whipped cream. I also like half and half, right? No sugar. I like whipped cream. Whipped cream has got a taste to it that I like, sometimes black. So there you go. Espresso, sometimes double espresso with a little shot of cream in the top is pretty good too as well. So I switch it up all the time. The show with Frakes, this is Cassandra. She says, the show with Frakes was called Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. Oh, okay. All right. Jonathan Frakes, man, he was great. I think Jonathan Frakes did the, I could be wrong, Cassandra, this is from Twitter. I think he did the Alien Autopsy. I think he was the host of that too as well. Alien Autopsy Live. And didn't he do, was it him that did, who was, believe it or not, who is that guy? Who is that guy? He might have done Area 51 Live, right? UFO Live on Fox. So, yeah, there you go. All right. Let's see, Jonathan Frakes. What brought that up? Okay. Let's see here. Super Crazy Movie Geek says, what do you say at the end of every show, and what does it mean? I say, go Beckley Teppy. Go Beckley Teppy. Here. No, I can't do that. I'll lose my place on the line. Okay. Go Beckley Tepe. That is a place in modern day Turkey on the Syria border. Look it up. Somebody posted in Twitter or posted up in how to spell it. Go Beckley Tepe. GOBEKLI. That's one first word. Second word, Tepe. TEPE. Go Beckley Tepe. It's also spelled GOE, but you can also find it as GOB or GOEB. Go Beckley Tepe. It's the oldest megalithic site in the world. I think it's the most important site. Right now, we're going to find more. We are finding more Go Beckley Tepes. But there you go. So, yeah, I sign off on every show with that. I signed off on Coast to Coast with that. I used to put it in all of my commercials. And go back, Lee Tappy. It's that important. And that's what it is. And there's your answer for that, super crazy movie geek. To Jimmy. Will you be at the Mothman Festival in Point Pleasant this year? I will not. All right. I'm going to give you guys my schedule. All right. This is my schedule for the second half of the year. Okay. All right. Next week, July 30th, 2023, I will be hosting the first annual Forbidden Conscious Awards. That is in Miami. That's next week. The week after that, August 4th through the 6th, I'll be hosting the Forbidden UFO Hunt that is going on for 3 days here in Southern California. Week after that, August 22nd, I will be in London, England at the Kindred Hammersmith. I will be speaking there, and that is August 22nd. Then a few days later, August 25th through the 27th, that weekend, I will be in Manchester, United Kingdom for the Awakening Expo. I cannot wait for that. Then when I return from there, which is on the 28th, a couple of days later, I'm shooting my TV show for 3 days. That wraps, and then the week after that, I'm back doing Fade to Black, of course. And then I film another section of my new TV show, and then exactly 1 week after that, all of this going down. This is the first week of October. I'm shooting, and then I head over to Egypt for the Forbidden Tour. That is sold out. I come back from there literally on the 16th. 2 days later, I'm back filming my TV show. Oh my God, for another 3 days. Then that wraps, and that's at the end of October. And then November, Stairway to the Stars, November 10th, 11th, and 12th. That is at the Luxor Hotel in Las Vegas. And that wraps on the 12th. I'll be back for Fade to Black on the 13th. 2 days later, I head to Peru, and I will be in Peru with Brian Forrester, and I can't wait for that. And that is also sold out. And I'll be there through the end of November. My daughter, by the way, is going to be here, staying here with friends. And she's going to be house sitting the second half of the year. So she gets the house to herself. What do you do when your dad is out of the country and you got the house to yourself? She is going to party. Just, I hope she cleans it up before I get home. And then right after that in December, I am going on vacation to Bora Bora. And that is right in the middle of December. So that's my year. That's the second half of the year. Busy enough for you? All right. So I will not be at the Mothman Festival in Point Pleasant. I literally have no days off. Okay, this is somebody that has never listened to Fade to Black. This is Georgia Constitution Media. Have you ever seen a UFO? Are you asking me that question? Or is that to somebody else in the chat? Have I ever seen a UFO? Saw one last night. You know, last night, so I have this sighting last night, and I saw two at the same time. And I happened to no night vision. And it was just kind of, it was hard to judge and things, but it looked like they were heading towards each other and then slowed down, and then it looked like they kind of turned a little bit and then continued, but it was like a traffic stop. Yeah. And I thought to myself, and I was too fixated with it. I was going to run literally, because I'm upstairs on the other side of the house in my bedroom. My night vision is right here in the studio. And so I was up and I was like, man, I got to go all the way down and I'm going to come up. And by the time I do that and get the thing out and video, I'm going to miss it. And it's good. So I had no choice. I just had to just stand there and watch it. I didn't have my phone with me. But anyway, so I'm watching it and I was like, the one time I want Mick West to try to debunk something. And that's what popped in my head. That is exactly what popped in my head. I was like, what would Mick West do? What would he do with that? Because that's pretty strange, right? That's not Starlink. That's not the sun, on the other side of the earth, reflecting off of satellites, and as it's coming through with the apex and the apogee and the no, Mick, no. But yeah, that's exactly what popped in my head. What would Mick West do with this? But have I ever seen a UFO? What is truth? Man, that is the most existential, philosophical question you can ask. What is truth? Yeah. What is truth? You have facts. 1 + 1 = 2. That's also true, right? But truth isn't necessarily fact. You know what I mean? But what is truth? One person's truth is not necessarily another person's truth, but you swear to tell the truth as you know it, right? Yeah. That's a tough one. That's a Phil the Stalker going deep. That's when you just happen to bump into Tom Brady. And he's got a football, and it's just you and Tom in an open field, and he goes, "Go long," and you do. That's what Phil the Stalker just did right there, man. He went long. He went deep. He did. What is truth? Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's why you have to have 12 jury members in the box. You don't have one, right? And unless you don't have a jury and you're a doofus defendant and you turn down the trial by jury and allow a judge to make the decision, that's a mistake because his truth may not line up with yours. But that's why you have a jury, because you can't. It's hard to even get to get 12 people to agree on your truth. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. That's a great question. Man, Phil the Stalker, going deep. Going Tom Brady. Dun. Man, Christina Gomez with that. I love that. We still want a Fader call-in night once a month, Jimmy. I think those days are gone. Maybe. I don't know. You never say never. Never say never. I've never said never. I had a phone call today, a very important one. And, man, I can't say who it was with, but not a speaker, not a researcher, not a book writer, a head of a movie network. All right. Okay. You don't know this person. And having a conversation, and I got hit with a question today. And would you consider? And I said, I don't know. I'm kind of happy. Not kind of happy. I am happy. I'm just happy. I get to do what I want to do. I get to do what I love to do. And it keeps the electricity on and food. Right? So, I don't know. But, and then I said, but never say never. Right? So I declined today, and I said, let me back off of that. Let me back up. And let me just say, never say never. So I reserve the right to have this conversation again, and we agreed to that. But so never say never. So with Fader Night, is it never? It's and I enjoy. We're doing Fader Night now. So think about that. This is Jimmy Church. Tonight is our once a month AMA. Taking a break. I'll be right back. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Please visit all of our sponsors. We're taking a quick break here. All of the links are below. We'll be right back. Join us November 10th, 11th, and 12th, 2023 as Disclosure Fest Foundation and Fade to Black Radio presents Stairway to the Stars, a Human Origins Science and Technology Expo, live at the Luxor Hotel and Casino on the Las Vegas Strip. With live talks, lectures, and workshops by world-acclaimed researchers and authors. This is Jimmy Church, by the way, and I'll be your host all weekend long, featuring topics like human origins, ancient technologies, indigenous teachings, workshops, a mass meditation, yoga and sound healing, music, and so much more. Don't miss our intimate sky watch and meteor shower over the infamous Area 51 airspace in Rachel, Nevada, with special surprise celebrity hosts guiding us through the night. Also introducing our Disclosure Fest VR Starship area with dozens of rides. You've got to check it out. This event will sell out. For more information and tickets, please visit disclosurefest.org. Hi, everybody. Jimmy Church here. Very special announcement, and that is we are shipping Fade to Black T-shirts again. It's been almost 2 years. We did a full upgrade to the website, so you can head over to jimmychurchradio.com. It's all simple to do, and it's right there. Remember, we broadcast 4 nights a week, Monday through Thursday. We bring you the best, the brightest, the most knowledgeable and amazing guests, the best conversations. We do that 4 nights a week. We also do 4 days a week. We broadcast the news, and we do that live too as well. It's not a one-man show. I do it with website support. I do it with producers. I do it with writers and artists. All contribute to the show. The best way to help support what we do here is with the Fade to Black T-shirt. And you can get your Fade to Black T-shirt one of 2 ways. First, go to jimmychurchradio.com, order a shirt. It's really that simple. You're going to get a tracking number, it's going to get shipped, and it's going to get autographed. The second way to get a shirt is with a Game Changer membership. Now, the Game Changer membership not only includes a free T-shirt, but you get a private email to me. You get unlimited commercial-free downloads. You have full access to the website, and everything includes free shipping, and everything is autographed. So help support the show. Get your Fade to Black T-shirt today. The links are below. You can just go to jimmychurchradio.com, and it's right on the website. So there you go. I'm Jimmy Church, Fade to Black. I'm so excited that I just have one thing to say. Go Packley Tappy.
Hey everybody, it's Billy Carson, also known as Forbidden Knowledge. I want to talk to you about a very special event coming up July 30th, 2023, the Forbidden Conscious Awards. We're going to honor people who have been contributing to the conscious community for decades. People that you know and love that have helped you get to higher levels of thought and consciousness and awareness. It's going to be a live in-person event, but seats are going to sell out very fast. You want to make sure you're there in person, and guess what? You can help vote for the winners. Voting is available on forbiddenknowledge.com, and the categories are going to be social media influencer, podcast/radio host, TV host, actor, director, producer, entrepreneurs, health and wellness, philanthropists, authors, field researchers, archaeologists, space anomaly hunters, and of course, a Lifetime Achievement Award. I'll be your keynote speaker that night at the Forbidden Conscious Awards. We have celebrity guests performing. We'll have a halftime show where we're actually going to perform music for you. And don't forget about the pre-event mixer, where if you buy a box seat, you'll be in the VIP section, and you also have private access to a VIP mixer with celebrity guests. Shake hands, break bread, network, and then walk the red carpet with us and take amazing photos. It's going to be a night to remember. You don't want to forget this. Make sure you hurry up and get your tickets because they're selling out very fast. I want to see you there. Forbidden Conscious Awards 2023.
River Moon Coffee, makers of the Fade to Black blend. Truly the best coffee on planet Earth. Just visit rivermoonwellness.com or their Amazon store. It's all simple to do. You can check out the Fade to Black blend, the Game Changer blend, or any of their Black Moon Wellness products. It's the only coffee I drink. It is the best, and it's Doc. Again, rivermoonwellness.com. All right, welcome back. Fade to Black, AMA. Post your questions in the chat, all caps, please. You can also post them over on Twitter, hashtag F2B, and I will get to everything. I think, man, I've got so many questions lined up here. And Zenza, can you send me a T-shirt? Bill, write me, send me your address. I can't believe you don't have a T-shirt. That doesn't make sense. I've never sent you a T-shirt. Okay. All right. Let's see. La Vera. She says, if we get the goods on the 26th, what are you doing for celebration night as far as food, friends, drinks, and music? Am I invited? Okay, I tell you what, that's next Wednesday. I can tell you right now what's booked next Wednesday. Let's see. Next Wednesday, next Wednesday is, let's see, there's AMA. Okay, so we have a UFO show booked that night. If Wednesday turns out to be Crazy Town, right? I mean, like, I'll probably be live on the air anyway that day. It's Wednesday, but I'll drink vodka on the show. I'll do shots. I'll do chilled or tequila shots. How's that? Is that celebration enough? All right. Yeah, that would be one of those days. Lord Nelson says, you land on Mars. I'm serious, Lavera. I mean, if it turns out to be that kind of day next Wednesday, tequila shots, vodka shots, live on the air. Okay? I'll get pounded. Live on the air. Live on the air. All right. Lord Nelson says, you land on Mars and you play the very first song to an alien. What song are you going to play? And the Cradle Will Rock by Van Halen. Or maybe Dance the Night Away by Van Halen. You know what I mean? Something like that. Yeah, I said, and the Cradle Will Rock. I don't know where that came from, but that just popped into my head first. So, you know what? Unchained by Van Halen. Yeah, Unchained. Yeah. Yeah, I do Unchained. And I'll tell you why. Because, well, you want to know why, Lord Nelson. I'll tell you why. Those opening riffs by Eddie Van Halen in Unchained might be the most rock and roll thing ever recorded. Yeah, that drop D tuning, and man, they were at their peak. They were at the live version of that on MTV. Oh man. Anyway, yeah, Unchained. It's those opening chords. Just such a distinct sound. Yeah. That would show ET what we are all about. Area 51 says, no, Asteroid City sucked. Area 51, you just got banned. That movie was perfect. That movie was absolutely perfect. Let's see. Jimmy, waiting for Barbie to come out. I am. I'm excited about that. I play a video game called Forza Horizon 5. It's a driving game. You know, I've got the pedals, I've got steering wheel, I got the whole thing. And last week on Forza Horizon 5, they released the Barbie Corvette. I haven't driven it yet. And I was so bummed. It's electric. It's the 50s Corvette, right? Like the 55, 54 Corvette, 53, and it's an EV. So I'm wondering if it's an EV in the movie. I don't know. But anyway, I'm looking forward to the Barbie movie for sure. Another question from Super Crazy Movie Geek. Only one question per night. I just try to be fair to everybody. The question is, what films would you like to see a sequel to? Sequels usually suck. Yeah. You have, look at Jaws. Perfect example. First Jaws, right? Jaws 2, 3, 4, whatever. Nah. Godfather, the exception. Alien, exception. Back to the Future, exception. Terminator, real exception there. Guardians of the Galaxy, who thought that would go that far? But it's rare. It's rare. I just like to see a movie and have it sit right there. Okay, let's see. Next up, Harvinder Sunila. You recently got back from Egypt. What impressed you the most, and what disappointed the most? What impressed me the most? Two things. All right, without getting into the Sphinx or the Great Pyramid and the debates and all of that. But what impressed me the most? What impressed me the most is you can stand just about anywhere in Cairo and see something really old next to something really new. It's a trip. When you go, Giza is a city. It's a suburb of Cairo, right? You don't even know you're driving into Giza. You're just crossing a street. But when you do that, and the Nile River's there, and you cross the Nile, and you drive into Giza, and you see the Great Pyramids off in the distance. It's at that point it's like everywhere you look, you're on the highway, you're in traffic. You're on the highway, right? Now think about this here in the United States. You're on the highway in the United States and you drive by something old. You drive by a farm and you see a barn that's 100 years old, 150-year-old farmhouse. That's the United States, right? And that's really old. In Egypt, man, you are on the highway and you look out and you're like, holy crap. Next to an apartment building. And that's when you're looking to the right. Look to the left, you're going to see the same thing. And I mean, old, and the excavations and the archaeology, you see the tents and you see the word, and it's like everywhere. That's what impressed me the most. It's just like everywhere you look, everywhere, all the time, something 3,000-4,000 years old, just sitting there, by itself in the sand. And it's just, wow. Going down the Nile River on the boat, and you're just looking. I did it all day long, just cruising down the Nile, sipping my espresso underneath the canopy on the top deck, and I'm just looking left and right, going down, and just stuff everywhere you look. That's what impressed. It's a weird takeaway, but it's just wow. To see a condo or a modern bank, and then right next to it a storefront, right? That's got electricity in it. That is obviously 2,000 years old. 3,000 years old. It's crazy. It's crazy. And that's what disappointed me. Not much. I think what disappointed me the most was food. So that's a whole nother situation over there. But now I managed, but that's probably so now I know how to plan ahead. But the people of Egypt, great, fantastic. There was no weirdness. It was very pleasant, crowded. But I like that part of it. When driving around Cairo, and it was a fascinating thing to observe. The markets, right now, not markets for tourists. That stuff is everywhere. I'm just talking about markets where people shop. And you're driving around, and you look up a street, and you see, because Cairo's like the biggest city in the world, right? They got 35 million people that live in Cairo. But just put that in your head for a second. It's insane how big it is. And you just look and you see these open air markets with 30, 40, 50, I don't know, 1,000 people packed for blocks. And that's where the locals are shopping, right? There's no tourists. And I wanted to go there. I wanted to walk through that and check that out. So from our hotels in Cairo, when we stayed at 3 different hotels, 2 of them I stayed up very high, 30th, 40th floor, something like that. And I was able to go out on my patio balcony, and just look at Cairo and observe it. And you see it, it's so immense and so big. It's a weird takeaway. The ginormity of it all, and somehow it's organized. It's crazy, and it's a city that is, it's 5,000 years old. It's 5,000 years old. From my balcony, I can see the Great Pyramid. I can see Giza. It's right there, and that's at least 5,000 years old, and it's right there, and I'm looking at it. From my balcony. It's a strange takeaway. Everywhere that you look, everything is old. All right, Alpha Zero. So, Jimmy, I want to hear your honest opinion about this phenomena, like no BS. About UFOs, ETs, visiting this planet. It's my opinion. I've seen too much. So the phenomena is real. Absolutely. What more can I say? I've seen too many things. And if I tell the beer can story one more time, I'm going to jump out a window. But that was the craziest thing ever. Daylight, middle of the day, bunch of friends sitting around, and then this thing just appears in the sky. And again, I've told the story too many times, but 500 feet tall. I'm looking at this thing 14 miles away behind Mount Adams when it appeared out, and it's a tall thing in this direction. That's why I call it the beer can, because it was black, but it had like I don't want to say silver. It was or chrome. I don't want to say chrome. I want to say something like aluminum. It wasn't that shiny to me on the top and on the bottom. And it was spinning and moving across the sky. And you see something like that. And there's just, that's not from here. And then it just disappeared. And I didn't see it disappear. Everybody else did. When you watch the video that was shot of that, and you listen to everybody, when Steve Murillo, who's sitting next to me, goes, "It phased out, man." I didn't see that happen. It happened so quick, and I was shifting between binoculars and looking at it with my naked eye. And when he goes, "It just phased out," and I look, and it's gone. I was like, "How could what?" It's like looking at a jetliner, a 747. And you're looking at it, and then it just disappears, it's just gone in the clear blue sky. It's like that. What? So that's it. The phenomena, yeah, it's real. We're being visited. I don't know the who, what, the where, the when, but hopefully we're going to find those things out. But that's it. That's my no BS take on this. That's it. Okay, super crazy movie geek. Again, only one question tonight. Have you seen For All Mankind on Apple TV Plus? Yes, I have. I've seen every season. I think it's up to season 5. I hope they come out with season 6. I've talked about it a million times on the show. It's a great TV series. Carrie Rosen, agreed. What is your straightforward take on the phenomena? See, I just read these in real time. It's just all caps. I'm not editing out. I am just clicking. But yeah, the phenomenon is real. It is absolutely real. Alpha Zero. Jimmy, are we talking about aliens or movies? We're talking about whatever you want to talk about. Alpha Zero. Marjorie Hickey. Have you seen Dr. Sleep? Dr. Sleep. Oh, is that yeah, I've seen it. It was good. The prequel to The Shining, right? Stephen King. Are we talking about the same thing? Was that Dr. Sleep? Man, that was really good. I can't remember who played the Jack Nicholson character in Dr. Sleep. Are we talking about the same movie? Dr. Sleep movie. I want to make sure that we're talking about the same thing. Yeah, Ewan McGregor. Yeah, that's right. 2019. The sequel to Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Was that the sequel or the prequel? Or was it after? Man, I can't remember now. All I know is I really enjoyed the movie. So you make me want to go back and watch that again. Okay, let's see who is up next. Jack the Lad. Jimmy, did you ever have a glam rock phase? No. Well, when you say glam rock, are you talking about like David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust, the New York Dolls? You know, that kind of glam rock? I never did. No. I love the music. But no, me personally, didn't know. But I was a step away from it. See, I was the hair band guy when I was in bands. So I was from that era, Warrant, that whole, from Van Halen and Quiet Riot all the way through to that. I was never quite. I mean, Motley Crue was glam, with a glam image. They were stepping away from the big hair band stuff, the Van Halen thing that I was really into. But a lot of hair, a lot of Aquanet, a lot of makeup, spandex, all that stuff. Everybody's seen those pictures of me, and I didn't give a crap. I lived it, man. I lived it. I have no issues with any of that. Let me see if I can pull up. Let me see here. Hold on for a second. Let me see if I can pull up a picture. Let me pull up a picture. Come on. Let's see. I hate it when you see the files. You don't see the images. View. Okay. Well, it's not going to quite do it. But when you look at like this picture here, okay, let me pull this up. It doesn't get any bigger hair than this. This is the real deal. And I don't give a crap. I'll show you this. You ready? Look at that. Ah, yeah. I lived it, man. I lived it. See the tattoo? See this tattoo right here? See that tattoo? It says Panama. All right. There it is. That's me right there. I lived it, man. I lived it, and yeah, but I never went glam. I love the New York Dolls and that whole, the image thing, Ziggy Stardust and David Bowie and what was going on in New York and stuff at the time. Love that. And it was going on out here somewhat in LA. And I think that Guns N' Roses at that time was, especially in the beginning, was very glam. I know that it's kind of hard to understand. You had to be there for it. But me, no, I was always just the hairband dude right there. There I am. Look at that, man. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Greg S. says, I would like to speak on the show and share my lifetime experience with Star People, 1969 till present. May I share an email? Yes, you may. Jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. And future consideration on the air. Sure. Absolutely. Hit me up. Tell me your story. Like last night, having Samuel Chong on the show. He's a court interpreter, right? But he's done the research, and it was about a subject that I had zero knowledge of. And that was a great show last night. That was an amazing show. That was somebody that isn't out there on the conference circuit, isn't out there, on TV shows. No, this is somebody that is seriously focused on the phenomena. And so having a guest on like that, first off, we all learned something, and that's great. But giving somebody the opportunity, and I'm telling you right now, he did not give up. He wrote me a lot. He sent me the information, and just wanted his chance to speak about this. It was a great show. And I was, I spent all day on the phone today. This is my third show today, too, as well. But I was speaking with somebody earlier today, He said, so who do you have on tonight? And I said, tonight's an AMA. Who did you have on last night? I said, man, last night I had one of the best shows I've had in a while. Samuel Chong. Who's that? And I said, just a court interpreter, right? Chinese. But somebody that has that has done the research. Somebody that has got something important to say. And I really, really enjoyed having him on the show and learning like that, because I learned. Man, look at this old picture. Holy crap. I got a mustache. I'm probably 15 in that picture. Now I'm going through this old stuff. There was, yeah. Okay, enough. I'm not going to do it. Okay, let's see. Android Paranormal. Does your daughter keep up to date with the news on disclosure? Yes. What did she think of all of this? Okay, now we're talking about Nicole. And Nicole, she didn't talk to me about a lot of this until recently. And I'm going to say in the last few years. And as it turns out, this is all her and her friends talk about. They're very interested in it. And at a recent conference, she brought a bunch of her friends with her. And I got to hang out with them and break bread, ate, a few meals. And these three, they were boys, well, she's almost 30 years old now. So I think they were all like in their late 20s, early 30s. Billy Carson and Linda Moulton Howe and Robert Jacques, and just they wanted to meet they knew the subject. It was pretty impressive. And I mean, I had to sit there and answer all the questions. And for them to have that opportunity, not only for me, but I was getting drilled with questions all the time, but also they got to hang out with Linda, and it was a lot of fun to see that their knowledge base on this. I think that generation and the generation under that, I do the show with Christina Gomez a couple times a week. They are fully focused. Yep, they really are. And they're in a different that whole TikTok generation. Nicole grew up with the internet. She was born in 1995, so she has grown up in a different environment than we did, and so being able to watch videos or conversations and social media and all of that about the subject, which is a big deal to that generation. I'm blown away. I'm blown away. I got a text from her the other day, and I don't want to pull it up. I'm not going to take away from the show, but it was something like, something like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but she texted me. She goes, okay, so we're sitting here talking, we're having a debate. And is ET from our galaxy, or is it from somewhere else in the universe? It's just a question like that, just out of the blue. I'm like, and they're sitting around. She asked me ghost questions. So, Dad, we're talking about ghosts. What's up with it? It's just so funny. So, yeah, she is fully in to the subject. Android Paranormal wants to know if your daughter's single. No, she's not. All right. Let's see. Have you ever seen a UFO? I just told you a UFO story. That is from Ape Apicology. Ape apicology. Have you ever seen a UFO? I have seen so many now at this point, I've like given up. I mean, the first time, the second time, the third time, these are big, huge events. And there are single things that were pretty remarkable for sure. Absolutely. It has gotten to the point now where I have seen so many and so much, so many different types that I have probably forgotten more than I remember. And that is the truth. All right. This is from Star Scarred. Any thoughts on why the aliens Nordics, I believe, left from a Whitley Strieber interview? Yeah, I do remember that. I'm not so sure that they have. Christina and I did a show the other day, Aliens Among Us kind of thing. And wow, this is a crazy question. All right. I'm not so sure the Nordics left. I don't think ET is left. And again, I think that and Samuel Chong talked about this last night. Something I've talked about a lot, which has been, I believe, honestly, if you are a highly advanced ET race species visiting this planet, hanging out on this planet, living on this planet, you have the ability to look any way that you want to look. And you're going to do it to not freak us out. And I'm serious when I say this. Listen to me. The version of us, this version of Homo sapien, right? This. In 10,000 years, are we going to look like this? Are we even going to have these bodies? Think about that. Are we going to have the ability to go from an energy body back to the physical? Are we going to have these? Think about that. So, yeah. So, there you go. All right. This is a crazy question, and this is from Eric Rowland, and I'm wondering how Eric knows this. How did you end up working at the New Daisy in Memphis, Tennessee? I worked there for about a year, and I did a variety of things, but I guess my overall, I was like the stage manager. But I ran monitors. I would run live sound too as well. I would introduce all the bands. And Mike Green, he was the manager. I wonder if he's still around. Mike Green, dude was a trip. And he gave me the opportunity. And so it just started. I can't remember exactly how. I don't know. I don't remember how. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how, if there was like an official start date, but so that was on the rock and roll nights. I think like the first Tuesday of every month, maybe it was twice a month, we had boxing, and I would serve beer. So they'd bring in a boxing ring, and it was like ESPN cameras, my memory of it. But I wasn't a bartender, but Mike Green just kept me working, so on those off nights, if there was no band. So I think I could serve beer. Yeah. I think I could serve beer. I'll tell you a funny story. Man, Mike Green, I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to tell a Mike Green story. I'm going to tell an Omni New Daisy story. And statute of limitations is over on this one. So this is 30, 40 years ago. All right. I could tell this story. So it's boxing night. And I am serving beer. I can serve beer. I can't mix drinks, but I can serve beer. I'm serving beer. And Mike Green comes up Mike, I love you, brother. Wherever you, if you're still with us. Mike Green comes up to me and he's got a brown paper bag and he hands it to me and he goes, "Put this under the bar." And I go, "What is it?" He goes, it's a gun." I go, "Well, what?" And I open it up and it's a pistol. It's a silver pistol with a black handle. And I close the bag and I go, "What's this for?" And he goes, "Just put it under the bar." And I go, "Okay." He goes, "Dude, if a guy comes in and asks for me, shoot him." I go, "What?" And he describes the guy, right? He's like, if he's this, if he's that, he's got a bent nose, and he's in, and he's in. Shoot him. And he walked away. Yeah. Now, the guy never came in. Nothing ever happened. And I don't know if he was messing with me, if it was a joke. I don't know. But the story is true. All night, man, I'm serving beer, looking at this brown bag sitting underneath the bar. And it's a true story. Memphis. Oh my God, I got a million Memphis stories. That's a true story, though. Mike Green, Omni New Daisy. Everybody came through there, man. That was there was another club in Germantown, Night Moves. That was pretty cool too, as well. Let's see, Fade to Black. How is the shoe entity? Very interesting question. And thank you for this, Wiley, because shoe action still going on. And today I'm wearing, I'm literally wearing, it's hot. I'm wearing Adidas sandals. I'm wearing shorts and sandals. I don't have shoes on today. But yesterday, I walked in the closet and there was one shoe on the floor, not two. They always fall in pairs. That was unusual. Yeah, there was just one. And I wore those shoes last night on the show, by the way. That's the deal I made. And it was my Adidas with the blue, red, blue stripes. Whatever. It's a skate shoe. And but yeah, and it was sitting, and I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. It's always pair. And here's the other crazy part about the falling shoes, and then I'm going to move on. Why are the pairs? It's a matching pair. It's not two shoes from different pairs. I want to make that very clear. It's always a pair of shoes. It's not mismatched. And yesterday it was one shoe. That was down. Yeah. All right. This is from Chris C. Chris C says, "Jimmy, please answer this. What was the straw that broke the camel's back for you concerning Bob Lazar?" I've told the story a million times. For me, because I was 30 years in committed to Bob Lazar, for sure. What I didn't dig, I mean, things kept happening, and I was hearing this over and over again. MIT, Caltech, Los Alamos, and there was just so much evidence that was against the W-2 form and all that. Lots more, right? But I ignored all of that. I believed the story. I believed in Bob, and then somehow the government was trying to erase this guy and hassle him. And but what absolutely, for me, because integrity is everything. All right. Phil the Stalker earlier, what is truth? Right? Okay. So the movie comes out. What was it called? Lazar. And the movie, so in the beginning of the movie, there's this whatever. Bob's place, a nuclear American Nuclear or whatever it's called, is being raided. Bob's on the phone. FBI's here. I think that's what he said. Could have been the police. I don't know. And they're raiding him, man. You know, and so suddenly the implication was that they were there looking for element 115. All right. And after the movie came out, the conversation about this raid, which pretty much is what the movie is about, but you know, this raid for element 115. And then I get sent the court documents from the police raid. And it turns out, now, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't like this stuff, man. It's called integrity. It was a murder case. That's what the raid was about. Had nothing to do with Bob. Okay. Now, what had happened was that people collect everything. People have coin collections. People collect Beanie Babies or whatever, right? Star Wars memorabilia. I collect guitars. All right. But there are people out there that collect elements. So you have that chart, right? And you want, in your collection, you want all of the elements. But some of the elements are kind of hard to get. Plutonium, right? You just can't go out and buy plutonium, right? Uranium. But people do, and so they want these collections complete. Somebody, I believe it was a lady, killed her husband with radiation poisoning, with a certain element that they confirmed that this, and so this murder investigation, and as it turns out, she and people do this all the time, would go to companies like Bob's, you know, hey man, you got any uranium? I need it for my collection. So and bought this element from Bob Lazar. So they were there, and he knew in advance what they were doing. They were there looking for the receipt from this woman that bought this element from Bob Lazar. Yeah, that's what the raid was over. And Bob knew that. So did everybody else. And to turn around and mislead the community. So, you know, that it was element 115 and this was a raid on, it wasn't. It was a murder investigation. And so I stepped back from that. I went, you know, that's not cool. That's not cool. That's not. And that's when I just had to step back and go, you know, is the rest, if this is BS, you know, to sell a movie, if this is what you're going to do, but then what else is BS? Is it all BS? I don't know. But that's where I backed off. That's it. So I've told the story many times. I've just said it again. That's the one thing I don't, you know, Caltech and MIT and everything else, Los Alamos, physicist, you know, advanced degrees, all of that, man, I don't know. Well, no, I do know. I think it's all BS now. Was he ever at Area 51? Maybe he was. Maybe he was a computer tech. You know, they let a lot of civilian contractors on that base. You know, I don't know. I don't know if he was ever there. But the rest of it, Element 115 and gravity drives and the sport model and S4 and I don't know. But that's, for me, my trust. I spent so many years invested. I watched dozens, if not hundreds of times. Sometimes I would take the same video and I would watch it back to back all day long, studying it, and not studying it for for BS. I was studying it because I believed it. And I was absorbing it. And I was listening to what he had to say. So, yeah, 30 years invested, man, just out the window. And it was one of those moments. It happened to me with Billy Meyer, same thing. When that balloon gets popped and it's like, oh man. And it was a drag for me. It was a drag. So there you go. I think Bob just got all wrapped up in it and it spun out of control. He had no idea that something called the internet was going to happen later on in life. So there you go. Jimmy eats like a king after each show. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't eat anything. No, I always eat a little something. But there you go. Okay, let's see. What's Jimmy, were you ever unpunked? Man, I thought, you know what? Today, or no, it was yesterday. All right. So I'm talking to Adrian. We talked about punked yesterday. I'm talking to Adrian, my partner with Stairway to the Stars. I'm talking to Adrian yesterday on his cell phone, and he was literally he sounded like this. Hey, Jimmy. Okay. So, dude, what's wrong with your phone? What's wrong with my phone? Dude, I can barely hear you. Turn it up. I check my phone. No, man, everything. I'm like, dude, what? And so then he calls me back on his office line. Everything is fine. He goes, man, I don't know what's up with my phone. Later on that day. So now we're only talking on his office line. He goes, man, I got to tell you the truth. I said, what? He said, I spilled salsa on my phone. My phone is supposed to be waterproof, so I rinsed it off. It doesn't work. I said, dude, am I on an episode of Punked? Is Ashton Kutcher going to walk? I literally said that yesterday. Am I being punked right now? How can you be that stupid? You did what? Dude, it's supposed to be waterproof. Dude, there's no waterproof phones. It says it's waterproof. You I was like, how can you be that? I got it. I'm being punked right now. There's no way you were that dumb. I did, man. It's supposed to be waterproof. Oh, man. It was hilarious. Oh, God. Okay. Let's see here. Before we run out of time, I'll squeeze in as many as I can. Christine B says, if you could choose any time in the past to go back, when would it be and why? Past. I want to be right there when they build the Great Pyramid. I want to be right there. That's what it. Not Jesus. Not interested. No. I want to see. I want to know exactly how they pull that off. I would like to witness that. That's what I really. If I had the one, I got one pass card. I got one crack at going back in time. That's what I do. If I could go to the future, I would go. Like maybe 1,000,000 years in the future here on Earth. To see what's up. I think I asked Jimmy that question 20 times. Sarah Ann, you will always get your question asked. Okay, you'll always get it read. But today she wrote a book. So let me get all of this in. Jimmy, you MC a post-disclosure galactic concert. Today's top artist giving tribute to the greatest songs ever to honor the supporting ETs and celebrate our community membership. Who performs and what songs? Now, come on, Sarah Ann. We can't bring Eddie Van Halen back from the dead. Oh, hologram. Righteous Gemstones. Yeah, we could hologram Eddie. Yeah, that's live music today. I watched Imagine Dragons last night live. They've got a new concert out, right? A new concert video. I'm watching Imagine Dragons, and they're okay. I mean, they're a great band and stuff. I got like 2 songs in, and I forget the singer's name, and he's crazy as the dude is out of his mind. He's ET contact right there, man. There's some MK Ultra going on. Anyway, the and the crowd and and I get it, but it didn't have that vibe. So live bands today, what do we do with that? Where are the live bands today? You look back and you think, I'm serious. Go watch an old Pearl Jam concert. Go watch an old Pearl Jam concert. And man, right? I watched the other day, I watched the entire thing. I watched the B-52s at the US Festival. Go and watch that. That's live. That's live. She's playing the bass line on the keyboard. Where is that today? So that's a tough list to put together, Sarah Ann. But Metallica, yeah, the new version of Pantera, Zakk Wylde, yeah, that'd be pretty amazing. There's some good action going on. What about like Katy Perry? What about what's her name? Gomez from the what's that movie? I don't even think it's Christina Gomez. Don't Look Up, the one that sings the song from that. She might be, I don't know. What about a rapper? Would you have Eminem would be good. Yeah, Eminem would be good. U2 would be good. That would be strong. That would be a good galactic thing to do. So there you go. Sarah Ann, right here. Frakes was Fact or Fiction. Am I that behind? Wow. There are just thousands of posts tonight. Yeah, I can tell. I'm only like a third of the way through all of this. I'll keep this going for a little bit. Let's see. Jimmy, you need to be on a special health plan, just like an athlete. Take your vitamins. I take vitamins every single day. Every day. Every day. I drink and take pills every day. Vitamin pills. Hey, Jimmy, take me to Bora Bora. Oh, man. Okay, let's see. This is good. John Lawrence. Jimmy, Kecksburg, UFO or military test? Man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Kecksburg was witnessed. I think Kecksburg made some controlled flight moves. I think it crash landed. Now, the military was pretty quick on the scene. Got that thing on a flatbed. It wasn't very big, all right? But the descriptions of it, acorn and stuff. So when you say UFO or military test, what if it was, well, I guess you could say that was military. I've always kind of thought of it like DeBelle, right? Was it, was it some German time travel finally came back in the 60s? I don't know. But there was descriptions of, from the witnesses there that there was writing around the bottom of it. There are other researchers that say it was a jet engine. a rocket engine, that it was that. I think if it was anything else but a UFO, I think they would have said that it was it was the tank of a rocket launch that we just did. It was this. It was a satellite that returned to Earth, and that's what happened. We never got any of that out of the military, but something crashed in Kecksburg that night. And it was shaped like an acorn. The military came in, put that thing on a flatbed, threw a tarp on it, and drove away with it and didn't tell us anything. So, yeah. Could it have been ET? Possibly. I think there's more to Kecksburg than we were told. Was it a Russian military satellite and they just didn't want to disclose that to us? Would Russia have mentioned that? So, Jimmy, what's your take on the TR-3B? Real or just a rumor? I think it's real. TR-3B is real. Now, that's just the name that we have given it. I'm not too sure how official of a moniker that is, if that's the military designation of it could be. But the craft itself, real. Yeah. I don't think that's a rumor. So it depends on what you want to call it, what the name is. Man, there are so many questions here. So I'm not going to end the show. Do it, Jimmy. Zenzabel deserves it. Absolutely. Okay, let's see here. Hate to put you on the spot, but I would love to have your opinion on Carrie Cassidy and her show, Project Camelot. Carrie Cassidy, let me tell you something. I've known Carrie for a long time. And back in the day, YouTube is brand new. And Carrie, she told me how she pulled this off, and she had a relationship with YouTube at the time. And so she was able to post videos that were longer than, I think at the time, it was like 15 minutes. You couldn't post anything. But she was able to post these videos that were an hour, 2 hours long. And she was one of the original YouTubers and developers and things. And I started, her interviews and her style and the way that she did it I was very intrigued by it. And her original video series that she did with Lear in Las Vegas, I think she was like out there for a weekend, 2 or 3 days, and there were 2, 3, 4 videos that were long too, man. They were like 4 hours, and she's sitting there with John Lear, question after question after question. He's whipping out papers and this and that, and that series of, if Carrie never does anything else for the rest of her life, those 4 videos, I think it was 4, that she did with John Lear, historic. It should be in the YouTube Hall of Fame. Should be in the Television Hall of Fame. I mean, it was that good. And Carrie and I, we became friends. She was on Fade to Black. I don't know if I was ever on. Was I ever on her show? I might have. Maybe not. I don't think I was on Project Camelot. Maybe I was. I can't remember. But Carrie is somebody that is chasing answers. Some of us, and Carrie's one of those. Carrie, I have friends that absolutely go all in all the time. I mean, they just go all in. Just all in. And Carrie's one of those that sometimes, because of its compassion and everything else, she goes all in. She goes all in. Objectivity goes out the window. And I've got plenty of friends like that. Plenty. And that's fine. That's fine. Me, I pull back. I pull back. I just pull back and it's like, let's ride this one out for a little bit. There used to be a thing called TTSA. Most of you don't remember, but this thing happened about 5 years ago. This company was formed, TTSA, Tom DeLonge. And even back then, man, I mean, everybody all in, chips in the middle of the table. All right. I was like, man, not so fast. You know, and that's always the way that I try to do it. I got burned, man. I got burned 2, 3, 4 times. I got burned. I did. I'm human. And now no. I don't go all in on anything. ET's here visiting. I'm all in on that. I just don't know. And nobody does. Anybody that says they have all the answers, I just back up because you don't. Okay. Here's this guy named Craig Fox. I don't think that's his real name. Will I ever get the faded back T-shirt I paid for 2 years ago? Craig, if this is a real person, I told you last night, send me a friggin' email. Send me an email, and that's it. Okay, all right. That's all you got to do. Send me your address and your shirt size. And see this right here. These are shirts being shipped in the morning. All right. If that's your real name, look at his picture. Poor dude. Look at that. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened to you, but you've got my meal. Do those weed drugs the other shaman guy? Do those weed drugs the other shaman guy offered you? I don't know what that is. Let's see. Jimmy, do you believe Art Bell's spirit fly around in electric cars? I'm not sure what that is. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Rusty, Jimmy, I remember hearing you on Q95 WFBQ years ago in Indianapolis. Wasn't it a paranormal show? And you did on there back then. This is the crazy part to this, Ross. I have heard this before. All right, now I left Indianapolis at the age of 20. All right, 21. It's all a fog to me now. But I was never a DJ on Q95. After, Fade to Black's taking off and TV and Coast to Coast and all these things, I started to get these emails from people asking me if I was the Jimmy Church from Q95. This is not the first time. And so I've tried to find this guy. And I was unsuccessful with that. So I don't know. People ask me if I was that Jimmy Church. And maybe they are getting the name wrong. Maybe his last name was Church. Maybe his first name was Jimmy. I don't know. But I could never find a Jimmy Church at Q95. Certainly doing a paranormal show. And wouldn't that be strange? And is he still around? So I've never been able to chase this down. But I have heard this. I've been asked this question literally dozens and dozens of times. Yeah. Now, I used to listen to in Indianapolis. Thank you for the question, Ross. I don't have an answer for that. I've tried to chase that down, but I'm not the guy that you used to listen to. But in Indianapolis, I would listen to AM radio late at night. I was a kid, man. I was a little kid, 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old. And there was paranormal overnight talk radio. 1974, 75, 76. That was the first time I ever heard Illuminati. Yeah. I never forgot that. I remember I'm lying in bed, man. I'm 11 years old and I'm listening to this guy at 2:00 in the morning, and my bunk bed had a shelf behind it. I was on the top bunk, and my little AM radio was right behind my head, behind my pillow. And I listen to this dude in the dark. There's this group of people that run the world called the Illuminati. And they've been doing it for thousands of years. They control the United States. They control all of the countries. They control you. And I'm listening, I'm like, what the? Man, I knew right then what I was going to do in life. So, and that was AM radio, so that wasn't Q95. So the Alien Autopsy film needs a sequel. Okay, let's see here. Where would I like to visit that I have never been to? You know where I'd like to? There are two. I want to Hong Kong or Tokyo. Yeah, or both at the same time. Hong Kong and Tokyo. I don't know if I'll ever get that done. You know, I have never been to Japan. No, or China. I haven't. So Hong Kong, Tokyo, Greece, to Rome, to the United Kingdom, Egypt, Central South America. Got all that, everything, all that's happened. But Tokyo. Dude, I haven't been, you know how far west I've been? This right here. I haven't been to Hawaii. Nope. This is far. I want to. I need to go to Tokyo. I want to see that. I want to see Tokyo. I want to see Hong Kong. Let's. Now I'm just scrolling past questions. Jimmy, how do I get you to listen to my music? Send Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. Guitar-driven hard rock. I would love to hear it. Send it to me. Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. Send me the links. Send me the link. I'm blowing past questions. Let's see here. I'm seeing as I scroll, and I'm seeing the questions pass. I'm seeing if I just stop on one on the scroll. That's what I'll do. It's like rolling the dice. Okay, right here. Oh, it's not a question, but it was in all caps. So you guys are talking to each other in all caps too as well? That's not fair. That is not fair. K13, did you get the pictures? What pictures? Jim, do you think... Okay, hold on. Do you think Bigfoot is alien or something totally different? Might have been asked before. I think it's something different. Straight up, Bigfoot, I think it's many things. I do. I think it's many things. I think there is a species. I do. I think there's a species that hasn't been discovered yet that's avoiding us. I think that's a very real possibility. But I think that there is a very... Now, that could be going on. And at the same time, maybe there's something else that's interdimensional. Looks like Bigfoot, acts like Bigfoot, walks like Bigfoot, not Bigfoot. Right? I think there could be that. Chewbacca, man. Star Wars. Is there a UFO connection to it? It could be all of these going on at the same time. And man, Bigfoot is one of those things. Jimmy, when you worked in Memphis, was Elvis still alive? No, Elvis died in 1977. I was in Panama when Elvis died. Let's see. We need a Memphis story stream. Right. Man, Memphis, let me tell you something. Memphis, my step-parents live there, so I go. a girl. I had issues with LA, so I went to Memphis, and I thought I was going to be there for a couple of months. I ended up being there for like a year and a half. And but Memphis is, when they say it's, the home of the blues and Beale Street and all of that, and there's all of that is real. I mean, Elvis, go watch the movie Elvis and Beale Street. That part of Memphis is that's all fact. But there's another part about Memphis. And it's a lot like Nashville, where the musicians in Memphis, the local bands, the musicians in Memphis are top notch, tippity top. Out here in LA, there's some great musicians out here. There's a lot of slouch too, and posers and things. It's not very good. It's not that kind of party in Memphis. If you get a gig in a bar in Memphis, you're good. And so you would go to these, man, I'm telling you, that was the part of Memphis that blew my mind. That being a musician in Memphis is what it's a respectable thing. It's not respectable anywhere else, except for like Nashville. Nashville, you're walking down the street, you walk into a bar. If there is a band in a bar in Nashville playing, you are seeing a world-class act. And if you're lucky enough to stay there for 2, 3, 4 hours and watch 3, 4 bands, you're going to watch 3 or 4 back-to-back world-class acts. The best singers, best drummers, best guitar players, best keyboard players, best of it. And Memphis was like that. Memphis was freaky, man. Freaky. And I'm a guitar player from LA, and I got my stuff, and you had to be on your game to get in a band in Memphis. Yeah, it's really true. So there you go. I toured with a band called R.T. Scott and the Delta Rebels. The guitar player in that band, Jason, both guitar players, but anyway, Brother Kane. Remember that band, Brother? He went on, he was the singer and guitar player in Brother Kane. And he was just a rhythm guitar player in R.T. Scott. That is what Memphis is. Memphis was a trip. And then there was the dark side. So let's see. Man, I went 20 minutes into overtime. Didn't even know it. All right. I'm doing the scroll. I'm just doing the scroll. If you could bring back one dead person, who would it be? Oh, man, that's not fair. It should be, if you could bring back 10 dead people, who would they be? I'd like to bring back Lloyd Pye, Jim Mars, Eddie Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix, Randy Rhoads. Yeah, can I continue? I mean, the list is John Bonham. The list is way, way too long on that one. AJA is making me hungry. I'm getting hungry. I am getting hungry. I don't know what I'm going to do tonight for dinner. I don't. Last night I did Chinese. What is today? Today's Wednesday. What's the tradition on Wednesday? Man, I'm feeling like a burger. But I don't like leaving for late night burgers anymore. I don't do it. I just cook. So will I ever get that autographed guitar out of your collection you told you would give me? Nope. I lied. I never told you I'd give you an autographed guitar. Oh, man. You know, they say you can't take it with you. You can't. So I know there is, there's going to be a point in my life where I just start selling stuff. I'm just going to sell it. Just put I'm going to keep like 2. I'll keep a Les Paul. No, I'll keep 3, 4. Keep 4. Keep 5. Maybe 6. Maybe 7. And that's it. Just everything else gone. What's the most spiritually awakening experience you can share? I've kind of shared. I've shared the ones that I want to share. Is that fair? I've shared the ones that I want to share. I think the other ones, when you have a spiritual experience, you keep it to yourself. You need to continually unpack it. Unpack it. I'll tell you one of the life-changing spiritual experiences I had. True story, too. So, I was dating this girl. Her name is Lala, by the way. And she was at Conscious Life Expo. I introduced her to everybody. I haven't seen her in 30 years, 40. I haven't seen her since 95, 94, 95. Let's see. Nicole was born in 95. So it was around 95. We had just gotten divorced. So about 1995. So what is that? 30 years. It's been 30 years since I've seen her. She comes up. All right. I was like, oh my God, right? And we took pictures and it was great. I hadn't seen her in a long time. But Lala, 10 years before that, 1985, we're in Pasadena. And Lala, Christian, just, man, she was brilliant when it came to that stuff. But she was very spiritual, very enlightened. And somebody gives me this book. It was a conspiracy book. And in this book, it says, I'm about halfway through, and it's whatever, Illuminati, Catholic Church rules the world, the Pope, this, whatever, and aliens, ET, everything was in there. And that part doesn't matter. But I get to this part in the book, and it says that the Catholic Church changed the 10 Commandments. They take the original 10 Commandments, they take one out, and they take another one, split it in 2, so they still have 10 Commandments. I said, that's not true. So I go and I get 2 versions of the Bible and go to the 10 Commandments. And they're different. And I was like, holy crap. And Lala comes over and she's like the religious scholar, right? And we're in my bedroom and I show her the book, what it says. And then I take out these 2 Bibles and there's 2 different 10 Commandments. Sure enough, one was removed. It doesn't matter the point. The point was I was crushed spiritually, and I was baptized Catholic, and I'm like, who has the permission to do this? And it's kind of like that Bob Lazar moment. At that point, I checked out of all religions. I checked out. I was like, it's all BS. It's all bullshit. If you can do this and pan this off, and this version, and then there's who has the right to do that? Who thinks that they can do that? So it didn't matter to me who was responsible, who did it, or who didn't do it. All I know is that there are 2 versions of the Bible out there with 2 different religious groups, Christians, Catholics, whatever, that are reading 2 different things. And somebody is lying. And I didn't dig it. I was like, wait a minute. And I backed off. And I am serious about this. I think I called in sick to work for a week. I didn't leave my bedroom. I was wrecked. Tears. Just, it's all a lie. It was rough. And Lala got me through that. Just talking to me. But I backed off. And that's a story. I don't tell it often. It was an uncomfortable, it was one of those life-changing, I'm serious. I took my car and I just drove it off the cliff. I was on the road. I was driving. Everything was then, and I just went, whoop, and I just went right through the guardrail, right down into the canyon. Yeah, it wrecked me. And that's when, and I was 21 when that happened. And it was a situation where I started to, different people entered my life at that time. Jacques Vallée was one, and some others, like 1985. And some other things, and I'm reading some really cool stuff. And I started to really question like everything. I'm watching the news and I was just Time Magazine, whatever. Just like, and Max Headroom. This is the other part to this story. Max Headroom becomes a thing. Most people don't remember Max Headroom, but he was this artificial guy and things. Anyway, and I started thinking, this is kind of where we're headed here. Like everything is just, it's all fake. It's all, if they're going to do this, for 1,000 years, 500 years, 1,000 years of BSing people, then what else, And so, yeah, that was one of the most spiritually awakening things to me. Yeah, that was a rough. I used to, for years, I told people that I didn't leave my room for 2 weeks. But it was definitely a hard week for sure. It was a week of me calling in sick, and yeah. All right, listen, I'm going to get out of here. Tomorrow night, what have we got going on? Tomorrow night on Fade to Black. Oh man, tomorrow night we got Philip Bernhardt House. Tomorrow night, where it's everything you want to know about Celtic werewolves, dog heads, and related phenomena, but didn't know that you needed to ask. That's what we're going to do tomorrow night, so don't miss it. It's going to be a great show. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. Tonight was a great AMA. I went half over, and look, I could go on, obviously, for another 2 or 3 hours here, because I only got a third away through the questions. That's the way it goes. Good show, though. Love hanging out with you guys. You guys are the absolute very best. Yeah. Fade to Black is produced by Hill J. Palm, Renee Newman, and Michelle Freed. Thank you to Dennis and Kevin. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2023 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. Until tomorrow night with Philip Bernhardt House, I want everybody to be safe. Go Beckley Tappy.